Hatham should be around here somewhere, right? Oh, he's over there! But it looks like he might not have time for us.
Just put down that worthless book and tell me what happened in the academia.
This is not just some worthless book. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to find a physical book like this in Sumeru?
It doesn't matter. It's probably just another thing that you used your authority to get your hands on anyway. Just put it aside. Listen, I came back today only to hear that the sages have disappeared.
Oh, you sound surprised. I thought you would already know the inside story.
Would I be here asking you if I knew? You're the scribe, not me. So just tell me what you know already.
Well, I almost became a sage.
Huh?
Oh, don't sound too surprised now. You're the renowned Kaveh, light of the Ksharawar. Besides, as a master builder and craftsman, chances are you'll be appointed as a sage too.
Why do I feel like you don't really mean it?
Huh. What makes you say that? Why would you question my heartfelt sincerity?
Maybe it's because you've never said anything good about me before.
Yeah, well, I share a similar sentiment, and anyone who knows you as well as I do would surely do the same.
Oh, you... See? This is why I hate discussing anything with you. Your ridiculous and arrogant attitude always gets in the way.
It seems that you really can't stand my personality.
Ha! What was your first clue?
Well, then you might as well move out of my house.
Are you threatening me? Stooping to a new low, I see. Ugh, and don't change the subject. You, a sage? What a joke. The academia might as well just close tomorrow.
Are they having a fight?
Forget what's going on with the academia. Haven't you been busy with your construction project? Tell me.
Don't get me started. I get angry just thinking about it.
So, what great building did our master architect work on this time?
Like I need to tell you. Keep your nose out of my business.
No, I think we deserve to know. Where were you when Sumeru needed you most?
I was in the desert for a large project, but considering Haravatat's utter ignorance of architectural and aesthetic matters, you probably wouldn't understand. Which is truly unfortunate. I can only pity the man who doesn't understand. Hold on, wait a second. What do you mean by when Sumeru needed me most?
Well, while you were out fiddling around in the desert, many people came together to save Sumeru from a crisis.
Ha! And you think I'd believe that?
Look, all you really need to know is that Azar and all his accomplices have all been overthrown.
Huh? What nonsense are you talking about?
It's no skin off my nose if you don't believe me. It's not like my Darshan was the one trying to apply for funding from the Grand Sage. Yours, though, on the other hand...
You know what? I'll ask around. I'm sure someone knows what's going on here. You're dead if I find out you're lying to me.
Oh, it's you two. What's the matter?
We're running some errands for Nilu. Have you received her letter?
Letter?
Nilu said she sent out a letter inviting everyone to a celebration feast in 2 days at the Grand Bazaar. We'll also be celebrating Zaino's reinstatement as General Mahamatra.
If she addressed the letter to all Hatham of the Academia, then the letter should have gone to my office. I've been busy these days, so I haven't had time to check for any new mail at my office. I only now have some free time to attend to personal matters.
Have you always been so busy with your work?
Of course not. I'm only busy these days because several sages have been dismissed recently and the whole academia was practically turned upside down.
Tighnari told us they all went to train in the Avidia Forest. Apparently they will spend the rest of their lives there.
That is already the best possible ending for the likes of them. 4 of the 6 great sages were possessed by their desire for power and attempted to create a new god. In order to pull it off, they even imprisoned the other 2 rational sages.
Yeah, you're right. Huh. Feels kind of strange to hear them called that after all this time. But then again, the 6 great schools sounded pretty impressive too.
Yes, at least that's how they're supposed to sound. It's said that when the academia was first founded, the Dendro Archon herself established the 6 great schools, each representing one of the 6 different types of wisdom. Numerous Darshans have sprung up and faded. Only the 6 Darshans, attaching themselves to the 6 great schools, have stood the test of time and obtained permanent seats in the academia. Now, the 6 Darshans are nearly synonymous with the 6 great schools, and the leaders selected for the schools are the 6 great sages. Among the 6 great sages, there is one central leader, the Grand Sage. Unfortunately, only the sages from Vahumana and Amorta remain now. They were imprisoned for opposing Azar and were only rescued after Azar's downfall.
So who's managing things in the other 4 schools now? Do they need to find someone new?
Yes. Normally, new sages are selected based on a strict set of criteria.
Oh, didn't you just say something about becoming a sage? If they pick you, then we'd have a huge connection in Sumeru.
Yes, about that. You didn't let me finish my sentence. The person in charge of personnel affairs nominated me to be the Grand Sage in place of Azar and help Lesser Lord Kusanali manage the academia. But I refused.
Huh? But why? Ugh, can't you be a little more ambitious?
I'm not even interested in being one of the 6 great sages. Like I said before, I don't like being a leader.
Oh, all right. So are you busy these days trying to find others to take the job?
That's not my job either. I'm only responsible for handling important affairs within the academia before the new sages take office. And the first thing I'll do is reject Kasharawar's application for funding.
By the way, who was that other person just now? Is he your friend?
Do we look like friends?
Paimon doesn't know. That's why Paimon's asking.
His name is Kaveh, my roommate. You could say he's the representative for Ksharawar scholars. Which is exactly why he always has so many problems.
So everything that's happened recently must be a huge change for the people of Sumeru.
Such is the work of the Academia Scribe.
Well, anyway, no matter how busy you are, since you are our planner, remember to attend the celebration feast in 2 days.
All right, I'll see you there.
Is that Paimon I hear?
Huh?
Oh, it's been a while.
Dunyarzad! It's been so long since we've seen you!
I'm doing well. I can go as far as saying I haven't... I don't know if you've heard, but Elazar has completely disappeared, and all the patients have recovered.
You kidding? Knowing them and the connections they've got, I'm sure they've heard about it.
Yeah!
That's right. My lady is feeling...
Why do you still call me that, Dia? You've already informed my father of your resignation.
I guess I'm just used to calling you my lady. Old habits die hard.
Resignation? You mean you're quitting?
Yeah, I might start losing my edge if I keep being a bodyguard for the Homayanis.
You know that my parents and I are fond of you, and that we appreciate you very much. It wouldn't be a problem if you wish to continue to be our bodyguard.
I'm not a woman that's easily persuaded. You should. When I took this job, I had already decided that I'd quit as soon as you recovered.
So what are you gonna do now if you're...
I want to take a risky job and put my body to the test again.
Huh? But we literally just finished...
I know. If I hadn't joined in that plan with you, I wouldn't have... I guess I still get fired up by that feeling of life is short, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of that operation. But the whole thing also made me realize that there are still many problems in Sumeru, and as a desert dweller, I'm still not completely ready to settle down on this side of the wall.
Well, I remember a friend had someone bring you a message.
You mean I'll hate them? I didn't expect him to still remember that. I thought he was joking.
We just came from talking with Alhaitham at the Academia.
Did he tell you that he suggested that I come work at the Academia?
What?
I heard that Azar and his cronies fell from power, and Alhaitham told me that now was a good time to find a job in the Academia, but only if I wanted to.
Whoa. Paimon can't see you being anything other than a mercenary.
Me neither. But I think Dia would look great dressed up as a scholar.
Ugh, forget about it. I wouldn't last 10 seconds in there. Alhaitham probably just liked the way I worked and knew I'm good in a fight, so he suggested I find some work in the Academia.
But you know, if you take him up on the offer, Sino might actually agree and let you become a Matra. Because you're
The Matra have all the talent they need as long as they have Sino. I prefer to be free to live however I choose. In fact, I chose this job from the very start because I knew it'd be right up my alley.
Even if being a mercenary means facing all kinds of danger.
A lion has to return to the wild sooner or later. If anything, being your bodyguard is...
I don't want to see you go, but I'll respect your decision.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Come on, no need for the sad face. It's not like we'll never meet again. Once the whole Dendro Archon thing is settled, everything in Sumeru will take a turn for the better. That makes me happy too. But a peaceful society will probably mean less demand for mercenaries like me. Before long, we'll be a dying breed. So I'd better get to work while I still can.
Huh? But wait a second. You make it sound like you're leaving now.
Well, no. Not yet, at least.
So, have you been in Port Ormos this entire time? We were wondering if you had received a letter from Nilu.
Oh, did Nilu write to us?
She heard that you were seen in Port Ormos, so she sent the letter here.
Huh. It was probably sent to the inn that we're staying at. My lady has been very energetic lately, and keeps taking me on hikes, staying out even into the night. By the time we get back, the receptionist is usually off napping on the job.
Right, and we tend to leave quite early in the morning, so the old man on duty is also usually dozing off.
So what it really sounds like is that the person on duty is always asleep.
I bet the letter's at the reception desk. I'll go check later.
No wonder there wasn't a reply. You never received the letter. Good thing Nilu asked us to come and check on that.
Sorry to make you two come all the way out here.
It must be something important for Nilu to specifically write to.
Yes, she said they were preparing a victory feast in the Grand Bazaar, and will also be...
Great! I'll be...
Count me in too. But is there some sort of dress code or anything?
Since it's being organized by Nilu, I don't think she'll be too picky about that.
All right, then.
The feast will be held in 2...
Sure.
Thank you so much for...
Oh, by the way, do you...
The General Mahamatra always comes and goes without a trace. Normally no one knows his where...
Oh,
But last time we met, he mentioned that he had something... As for Raman, your guess is as good as mine. I only remember he's... Don't mention it.
all right, on to our next...
I'll scout ahead.
Come on, let's go. There's...
A pleasure to be working with you.
I'll bring my seasonings. last visited our... Ah, there's Sino!
What brings you here?
We recovered well, and Tanari agreed to let us leave.
It seems Gandharvaville's medical treatment is still as good as ever.
Mm-hmm. And Tanari is recovering well, too.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, you're the one who brought us to him when we lost...
You're welcome. Tainari has excellent medical skills, and Kale is quite attentive. It was the best place for you.
But why are you just standing here like a dead tree?
I'm meeting some people.
Oh, you mean Candace?
I've already talked with Candace and the village chief. They're still at the usual place. You can go there if you'd like to see them. But you know one of the people I'm meeting as well.
Oh, by King Deshret's blessing, my friend suddenly appears in the desert. Don't tell me you've run into trouble and need us to help now.
Roman! And...
Oh, you know me?
Oh, well, you're pretty famous in the academia.
Don't worry, these are our friends. No need to be so guarded.
I see.
I'm doing well. Many good things have happened recently.
Same here. Really, I feel that my whole life has started to shine after suddenly finding a new direction.
Oh, tell us everything.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Alright, well, I suppose I should start by saying I've decided to leave the academia.
What?
It's not that I've given up on being a scholar. Instead, I will no longer pursue research like a typical scholar, but I have not...
I can...
What do you mean?
I plan to leave the academia and return to teach here in the desert.
Wow, so you want to become a teacher?
Sataria will return to support education here and teach people from the desert. She can't teach everyone on her own, but there are many of us Eremites all over Sumeru. She came to discuss a collaboration with me and hoped that I could bring her ideas to the...
Yes, it's my hope that the Eremites can help me select a group of smart people with the best aptitude for teaching. I'll teach them, and after they've finished learning from me, they can go educate more people. That is the true meaning of education and the spreading of knowledge.
The people of King Deshret suffer from sandstorms, exile, and ignorance. Miss Sataria is more than welcome to come teach here. Her arrival is like a star shining in the desert night. The stars have always guided caravans, thieves, soldiers, and travelers who get lost in the night.
Oh, please. Where's all of this coming from?
You deserve these compliments. Mercenaries are accustomed to danger and don't fear death, which is why we recognize extraordinary actions.
Sataria's idea will bring much good to many people.
At first, I feared it was destined to fail. Everyone knows that, as you know, all knowledge is under their surveillance and control, and very few desert dwellers are as lucky as me. But what I heard at that time has been haunting my heart, as if there were lightning bolts constantly bombarding my soul. Sataria, you tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become. Sataria, why haven't you gone home? Never forget that the desert...
Miss.
These words sparked something in me, and I knew that I gathered up the courage to approach the Grand Sage, only to find that he was no longer...
Azar has received much-needed punishment. Though, if you ask me...
Lord Sino helped me obtain permission to leave the Academia for the desert, and accompanied me here to discuss collaboration with members of... My plan was able to go smoothly thanks to him and Rahman.
You're all doing so much for the desert.
Aside from that, I also have some other business to discuss with Sino.
Lesser Lord Kusanali has allocated many resources to support and develop the desert. I applied for a few batches of educational materials from the Academia, and sent them to several groups in the...
That's exactly what the people here need. Physical books and other related items. If it weren't for Sino and Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'm afraid we'd never be able to get our hands on them.
Apart from this, the Academia is also recruiting scholars that are willing to teach in the desert. We must be persistent about this, and maintain these resources to ensure long-term effectiveness.
This is the first time in hundreds of years we've had a glimmer of hope. I think this may be the turning point for the desert. Remember these words. Here lies our faithful priest, Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise. I hope people with wisdom like that priest will rise again among the desert dwellers. Then we'll want—
Enough about us. Are you—
No, not at all. Neela wanted to write to everyone, but she was— A celebration feast will be held in 2 days. At the feast, we'll also be celebrating Sino's although, judging from your appearance, it seems you've already been reinstated.
Celebration? Feast? It's the first I've heard of it.
Tainari was right. He really didn't know.
This feast is for you, Sino. Sounds—
It's rare to see that kind of expression from Lord Sino. You must—
No, not really. But I'll go.
Well, I still have a lot to handle here. Besides, I need to look after Miss
I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. Although, the messages, I'm sorry for how I treated you before. But now I understand the beauty of your You and the art you symbolize are not only beautiful, but please keep dancing. And someday, I'll be able to appreciate your art in person.
Okay, we've got all that down. Our job here is complete as well.
Got it.
Today's the big day! Let's go to the Grand Bazaar and see how the... Everybody's already here. Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
You're here.
Ah, there you are.
Well, look who finally decided to show up.
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work. I'm very happy to see you here.
But we're not late, are we? It's just that everyone else arrived ahead of time.
I propose that the last one who arrived be put in charge of today's speeches.
Nah, there won't be any speeches today.
Oh, really? Well, even better.
Come join us over here. Let's share some great food and drinks.
Everything looks quite good.
Wow! Paimon can't wait! Whoa! It's so delicious! Oh, this...
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. Everyone that came said that you saved Sumeru. And
Feels kind of nice to be seen as a hero.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job. You've...
My lady, sure.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that participated in the...
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive to...
We owe it to our abilities. And luck.
Really? Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us and feeling like we...
That's how I remember it too.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to... Moreover, judging from the results...
yeah, everyone gave it their all when it mattered most. It was almost like a performance. We took the stage and put on our best show. Everyone played their part. And thanks to everyone's efforts, the
So, would you say we're good actors too?
It's such a blessing that Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return to power.
Yes! Even after being abandoned and neglected so many times. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories. This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised.
No, everything you said is correct.
That's good.
Something wrong?
Yeah, what's with that face? You knew all of this already.
Even if those those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her power for the people. If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right, Sino?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his accomplices severely punished.
I respect our deity's decision, and won't interfere in any way. While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the Academia's invitation to become the Grand Sage?
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be a sage?
Not at all. But every person handling the selection process has said that you are the most suitable candidate to lead the Academia right now.
Why? Because he dethroned Azar from power?
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing, yet you're making it sound like I overthrew Azar for my own personal gain.
But seriously, though, I always wondered if you had some
I did have my own motive, but it had nothing. If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long until
By that, you mean your life working as the Academia's scribe.
Precisely.
Wait, is that all?
So, that's the only reason why you...
It's reason enough. You flatter me.
All right then. How about you?
That's right.
Will you be happy?
It's not about being happy.
Even so, keep your spirits up and try to be happy.
Thank you.
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings. No. The Grand Bazaar is lively. That happiness is an emotion. I seem to have taken... Oh well.
There you are. Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the feast today? That's good. It's the first time I've ever You see, every guest here is quite extraordinary. Make sure you live it up tonight. I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I can't explain why.
The atmosphere here is good. And everything is delicious. I don't often come to such places. I have a lot to handle these days.
My lady, the grilled meat...
Yes, I also tried some fruit just now. What an amazing place to relax. No one...
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello. Oh, I'm so happy Nilu invited everybody. Oh, now I have the...
Hey, less of that polite chit-chat and more eating and drinking.
Hey, what's wrong? Your head is starting to droop. Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You wake up, of course. Just wait here for It's me. You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. I was thinking about talking with you, and the next thing I knew, I had made a connection with you. The connection between us is amazing. It's like flora and the fence it grows upon. I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. I wanted to have a look for myself, so I snuck in. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, so I really haven't had any free time. Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's still one more thing I hope you can help me with. Please say thank you to everyone for me. Is it not convenient for you to do that for me? But if I just show up all of a sudden, people will become all quiet and stiff, won't they? What if I end up scaring them and ruining this wonderful feast? That'd be the last thing I want. Let me think about it. Okay. Yes, I have. You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So, I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't blame me. The flora also climbs up to the fence to get closer to the sky. Everyone! Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you the food. It's me. Huh? That voice. Nahida?
Hold up, what's going on?
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar. Interesting. Is this also a part of the feast?
No, of course not. Are you Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Hello, Nilu.
You know who I am?
Yes, I already know every one of you. Nilu, Alhaitham, Sino, Dia, Paimon, and Dunyarzad.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body so that I could thank all of you in person. Thank you so much for rescuing me, even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk of becoming enemies with the Academia, the sages, the doctor, the balladeer, and even the entirety of Sumeru. Without you, without any of you, I would have been in a much more difficult situation. Had you not helped me to resolve the crisis, not only I, but Sumeru and even the entirety of Tevat would have suffered great misfortune. People refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. It not only explains your identities, but also bears witness to your relationship with me. Please, allow me to present to you my most sincere gratitude.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru, and I didn't need...
Dunyarzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also proof of you being with me and praying for me. Thank you.
You don't need to be so ceremonious. It's always been my duty to protect you.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be. We just did what was necessary and set things back on the right path.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need to be so polite with us.
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan. I hope...
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Are you awake? Did you rest well? After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton. That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon, the Sage of Gluttony. All right, since you're awake now, should we go and have a chat with Nahida? She should be in the Academia right about now. If you have any questions, now's your chance to ask. Hello, Travel. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in all the happiness and joy, like a candle floating on water. So are we, and that's why we're here to talk with you. Is there anything you want to know? After recent events, the Akasha can no longer function as it used to. I've given it some thought, and have decided to shut it down permanently. But this is definitely not a bad thing. Even from the beginning, I've been planning to shut it down. The Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's curiosity and curtailed the number of paths available to them. Although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with the loss of the Akasha, they will soon understand that this life is more suitable for them. And as for the future of Sumeru, I'm preparing to regain control of the Academia. The former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have yet to be selected. I will oversee the process personally. I hope that the new 6 great sages will be more focused on academics. Sumeru needs such leaders more than ever. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. All the residents of the desert, in fact. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild. He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't do any evil. In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. Some things may be very clear from my perspective, but he is still yet to understand them himself. His future will be determined by fate. Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine, the Nation of Justice? As far as I know, That nation operates in a judicial system. Does their archon personally judge people? No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over individual trials. However, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. It seems that she just likes to immerse herself in that sort of atmosphere. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict. Anyway, let's just say she's got, a very unique personality. You mean, what happened after the... You guessed correctly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. I was no match for him in that kind of situation. However, in spite of the bad situation, I still managed to make a fair deal with the doctor. I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500 years ago. I used this point as leverage against the doctor. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it's just a bluff, he still fell for it. I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and let such extensive damage to its laws take place. And as for what I exchanged for the Gnosis, the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom. Is that where you're headed next? As far as I know. Does their Archon No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. However, as Archon, she's still Anyway, are you sure? Isn't there something else? Huh? You mean... About your brother. While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your brother. Yeah! Isn't Irminsul a repository for all the information and memories of Tevat? So there shouldn't be anything on her or her brother. This is true in your case. Irminsul indeed does not have any information on you. However, there must be something different about your brother. Because as it turns out, the world has recorded information on him after all. What? There's only one possible explanation. He belongs to this world. But nothing about this makes any sense! Wasn't this your first trip to Tevat? According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria. After the Conria disaster, he began his journey through the 7 nations of Tevat. But just as his journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on him suddenly become fuzzy. What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen to him? All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, is deliberately obfuscating his fate. And whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what else they're capable of. But even that wouldn't explain how he somehow comes from this world. Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the Descenders. What's a Descender? Paimon's never heard of it. Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui in return for my Gnosis, right? A very important part of the intel was about this world's Descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong to this world. Traveler, you are Tevat's 4th Descender. Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other Descenders before the Traveler, and her brother isn't even one of them?
That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first Descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly Principles. As for the other Descenders, I still need to verify their existence.
Paimon's head's about to burst from all this crazy new information.
And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. I must say, I truly regret that I can't help you more as the God of Wisdom. There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one of them. And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew and depart from Sumeru. I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that can't be observed or recorded by this world. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate.
Paimon's sure glad we...
The pleasure is all mine. I can't thank you enough. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me, just close your eyes, and maybe I'll appear in your dreams. Is there anything you want to know? And soon, you'll also begin your journey anew. I'm very interested in you. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate fate.
Paimon's sure glad we got...
The pleasure is all mine. Alright, that's...
if you ever want to trade tactic.
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
Huh? Wait, you're that blonde traveler who's on a journey to all corners of Tevat, right?
Who's asking? Do you...
You bet I do. I was worried I wouldn't be able to find you. He was a crafty fellow, let me tell you. Took advantage of a loophole in our mailing system by opting for guarantee.
Well, we are always on the road, so yeah, it's pretty tough to get mail to us unless we happen to go to the post office on a whim. So, what address did that person give you anyway?
He just wrote next to a small, white-haired talking
What? So the ad...
Yeah, exactly, right? And if I failed to deliver the letter, I'd have been bound. Really, he got me good. I count myself very lucky that I ran into you here. Of course, here it is.
Come on! Paimon wants to have a look! Kaya, huh? So he's here in Sumeru. Now that from what he wrote in the letter, it looks like he didn't think there was much chance of it reaching us. Or maybe he's just being sneaky. Do you think he's making this sound like a miracle of fate so that we'd have to? Yeah, you're right. The letter says that he hangs out at Jafar Cap. Kaya should be at Jafar Tavern right now. Let's go see him.
I'll have something I haven't tried yet, boss.
Sorry, sir. I'm afraid you've already tried every type of liquor we serve.
Oh? Well then, just the bill, please. That's just as well, I suppose.
Kaya, you're really here! Paimon half thought you were playing some sort of prank on us.
Hey, Paimon, traveler. Looks like the gods smile upon me after all. And come now, I wouldn't joke about wanting to see my good friends.
Wait a second. You must be here on official business, right? What do you think you're doing spending every afternoon drinking at the tavern?
Not at all. The acting Grand Master positively terrifies me. Why would I ever do anything that might displease her? The truth is, I'm in Sumeru to learn about the alcohol industry here. So despite how it might look, I'm actually at Jafar Tavern for strictly business purposes. Sumeru's spices are famous the world over, and it's long been rumored that this fine establishment was where a certain very popular spiced cocktail was invented. That's why the Knights sent me, their foremost expert in alcoholic beverages, to come and see if it is as good as the rumors say.
And how did that go?
So far, so good. I'm already in talks with some spice merchants in Port Ormos about...
Yeah, that does sound like a great business opportunity. Guess Don Winery and Master D-Luke are gonna make a tidy sum from this one too, huh?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Whether this lucrative opportunity gets passed along to Don Winery or not depends on how nice I'm feeling.
Hey! Using your job to settle personal grievances isn't very knightly, Captain!
Oh? What makes you say that? Very sharp of you. I wouldn't say I'm familiar, though. I just came here on the sly once, when I was...
And? Do continue.
Do I have to? When I said we could talk about the old times, digging up my past wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Well, all right, since you're so interested. Like I said, I was very young then. Don Weiner, I overheard my adoptive father talk about sending a team of merchants to Sumeru during a business meeting. I'm sure you'll agree that everyone's curious about their roots on some level. And my roots? They're in Conria, which is said to have been located deep underground, somewhere near Sumeru. And so I stowed myself away amidst the cargo, and silently joined the merchant delegation on their trip to Sumeru. But it wasn't long before the merchant delegation received news that I'd gone missing. Their leader promptly found me, and before I knew it, my adoptive father was dragging me back home by the ear. It was a short-lived adventure. Sorry I don't have a more thrilling story for you. Honestly, not much. The only reason I knew that Conria was near Sumeru is because I happened to read that in a book when I was young. My life had less and less to do with Conria as I grew up, and so I started caring less as well. I used to believe that I had inherited some sort of duty from my father. But then I began to wonder, maybe my father left me in the peaceful land of Mondstadt for no other reason than simply to keep me alive, as well as ensuring that I'd be safely cut off from certain things. The thought that I might be able to actually live a happy life there must have been the icing on the cake. This is obviously all speculation. Simply put, I'm afraid that I'm not particularly in the know on this topic. These days, my surname, Alberich, is probably the only link to Conria that I have left.
One death afternoon, please, boss. Tell me, what do you know about the significance of that name, Alberich?
Dainsleif?
Ah, you've decided to join us. I was wondering how long you planned on listening in. I believe I've seen you before in Mondstadt. Dainsleif, if I'm not mistaken.
So you remember me. Then we are already acquainted, Kaya Alberich, descendant of the Abyss Order's founder.
Huh?
What?
I take it that you weren't aware of this until now, Kaya. Or you wouldn't have been so forthcoming with your surname.
Oh my. That's quite a lot of baggage for a surname, isn't it? Though I must say, it does confirm an old suspicion of mine. I suppose that was why my father left me in Mondstadt after all.
I'm surprised that you take me at my word without the faintest hint of skepticism.
Well, perhaps what you told me just happens to answer some questions I carry in my memories. And in any case, I recognize your eyes. You're a pure-blood Conrian, aren't you?
Very clever. Forgive me for being direct, but I sincerely hope this new knowledge doesn't change anything. If you've already let go of your ties to the path...
Kaya, you're not involved with the...
Hey, hold on now. This conversation has taken a rather sudden turn for the deadly serious. And I'm afraid that as someone from Mondstadt, so what if I know my ancestry? Do I strike you as the type who would be bound by that kind of thing? Relax. I'll be just as delighted to hunt down the Abyss Order tomorrow as I have always been. Either way, looks like we're out of time. I've got a spice merchant to meet in a minute, so I'll leave the three of you to carry on the conversation without me.
Well, all right then. You go do your thing, Kaya.
See you around. And Dainsleif, no need to listen in from the sidelines next time we meet. Let me buy you a drink.
You don't really trust him, do you, Dane? You're both from Conria, but you get on like oil and water.
The fact is, I still do not know him well. It would be meaningless for me to jump to conclusions. But can a person truly be unaffected by their ancestry? This remains to be seen. Well, I suspect that they call your brother their prince, precisely because there is a succession of sorts.
Oh, so if he was the founder, he'd be the king, right?
I mean to investigate the Loom of Fate. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, the Abyss Order's evil plan! We learned about that back in Mondstadt.
Not new. Not exactly. My memories suffer from erosion. But while I was recovering my health recently, I suddenly remembered something. Your brother. He mentioned the Loom of Fate back when we traveled together. Apparently so. I was also quite surprised when these memories tallied up. I recall that we were traveling...
So, you're going to the place that he mentioned back then?
Correct. At that time, they must have been introduced in one way or another to this
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go!
No. Now is not the time. No, it's just... I'm still waiting for my drink.
Seriously?
Wait. This place, it's...
What about it? It looks pretty normal to Paimon. Was it like this hundreds of years ago, too?
Yes. The forest has barely changed from how I remember it. There is very little human activity here, after all. Let's search the area and see what we can find.
Is this a field? It must belong to whoever owns that house over there. But it looks like it's been abandoned for a long time. You could be forgiven for thinking nothing was ever grown here. Or, wait, maybe nothing ever was grown here. It's an extinguished bonfire. Forest rangers, perhaps? Looks like it's been ages since it was last lit. And clearly they put it out carefully to prevent a forest fire, too.
Nothing else stands out in this area. All that's left is that building. Come on.
Wait, we're just gonna go barging in? What if someone's home?
Unlikely. There are no signs of life in this area.
If you say so. Well, you lead the way then, Dane. So there really isn't anyone home. There's a box over here. Why don't we open it? And by we, Paimon means you. Paimon's just scared that whatever's inside might bite her fingertips off. Huh? This is a mirror. It's broken, too. Was this a makeup box? That's kinda disappointing. Paimon was hoping we'd uncover some super big secret, especially after Dane talked this place up. This bed looks pretty What sort of person would want to live here? Hey, look! It's a
Can't you smell it?
Oh, so it's a medicine ball? Doesn't look like there's anything else worth their attention.
My memories are quite foggy, but my subconscious but we'll exhaust ourselves if we search aimlessly.
Noises? Is it...
It's not much. Just some minor adversaries.
Monsters? Wow, Dane's ears are sharp, just like his nose! Surprisingly good shape for a 500-year-old. Although for someone who's as full of surprises as Dane, it's hardly a big deal. Anyway, let's beat up these monsters! Boba, get them! Whirling snow! Take flight! Kamisato art! Sumeru!
Bow your head.
I doubt that the appearance of those monsters was wholly random. There must be something nearby that attracted them. A ley line anomaly, perhaps. Okay. I'll go
What? You're going alone?
Your suspicions are as banal as they are unwarranted. I merely think that this house should remain the focus of our investigation. And not to mention that if even forest rangers are capable of investigating ley lines, I will be more than able to handle it alone.
Fair enough. Guess we'll just camp out here then. Good thing there's a bonfire over there. Let's make ourselves something to eat. All this running around has made Paimon real hungry. Cooking is as good as ever. Even if there was no other reason, the food alone would be enough for Paimon. Changing the subject. Dane's taking forever. He said that there might be an issue with the... We came together, but now it's back to just be... So... Don't take this the wrong way or anything. Okay, fine. Paimon should have known you weren't gonna say anything nice. So, next question. Don't know if it's okay to ask this, but Paimon's curious. What was it like traveling with your brother? The stars? Wow. Yeah. Paimon understands. Being separated without even... But we'll find the truth together. Sure as Paimon's your guide. Just you wait, Heavenly Principles. And you too, Teyvat. You know what? happy instead, because if you're sad, all right. It's getting dark, so why don't you rest? Paimon will take first watch. Don't worry, no monster's gonna come and eat you up. Oh, come on, don't say that. Paimon just wants to look after you for once. Nighty-night. Go on, shoo. Off to...
Hey, time to wake up. The sun has risen. What a deep sleeper. You do know that we need to... Tear stains. You dreamed of your sibling last night, didn't you? All right. Rest here a bit longer then. I'll head into the forest to investigate.
Halt! What do you think you're doing? This place is not whatever you think it is. Your travel companion. You mean your companion departed for the forest early this morning? What business is that of yours, All you need to know is that I claimed this place first. And what I make myself quite clear. Leave. Well, what are you waiting for? If you must, suit yourself. I've been observing you, and you don't look like a forest ranger, nor... Still, I'm warning you, no funny business. Promise? Okay, fine. Whatever. Just move aside. I'm heading in. You... Oh, but no overreacting to anything you see in here, okay? Come on, then. Mind your own business. Don't worry. He isn't aggressive. How could he be? He was too young for anything like that. So don't you lay a finger on him. Just find yourself... Huh? You know Conria? Who are you? Do you worship a god, traveler? Sounds like you've had an eventful life. All right, well... I apologize for my earlier hostility, but you must understand, as far as I... And all who place faith in the gods are my enemy. That may be. But the fact is that chances to talk to people like yourself have been few, and this wretched curse of immortality... The curse... It was a little gift. We lost our home, our loved ones, everything. The agony of all we can do is watch helplessly as our soul. Because, although Conria began with a single bloodline, it was a home to others too. Any who forsook their gods and came to Conria were welcomed as our fellow citizens. When the cataclysm came, we pure-blood Conrians were declared the greater sinners. Upon us the gods, but those whose ancestry belonged to the domains of other gods were punished with the curse of he is Caribert, my illegitimate son. How times have changed. I can say that out loud with no consequence now, but I was a noble of Conria by blood. But then, one day, Caribert faced great hardship from the very moment of his birth. All due to my selfish desires, and I was never able. After all that, he turned into a hilichurl right before my very eyes. I always owed him much, and now at least I can finally be close to him. She was. We were separated. I do not wish to dwell on it. It could be worse. I suffer the pain of loss because I once had everything I could wish for. And now that I have lost almost everything, the little that remains I see with new clarity. If nothing else, at least I still have Caribert. Yes, that reminds me. I only returned. Over here. I'm sure you're wondering why I brought Caribert here to Sumeru. Well, it's because he needs a medicine that can only be made here. One which will help him to recover his... I do not hope to break the curse. I am well aware of my powerlessness against the punishment of the gods. But it is said that this medicine is imbued with the power of Sumeru's god of wisdom and can awaken the mind from a state of deep I believe that it might just work. I read about it in a book. From the Royal Library of Con. In my youth, I disliked the life of nobility and craved excitement. What other choice do I have? The gods have already punished us. What does one more sin matter now? Never mind. As long as you understand. As it happens, I am in dire need of some help to make this medicine. My hands don't have the dexterity they once did. I fear they... Okay.
Do you have any, of Sumeru's regional specialties on hand? Oh, wonderful. This is the method for... Is it... In all honesty, well, the moment has finally arrived. No! I said before that this medicine relies, which means we must pay a visit to a statue of the Seven. Let's go. Look at this. God of wisdom! Look at me! I will utter... You and your kind destroyed my home. You cannot mock God of wisdom. My son, Caribert. If everything the gods have done, then I bow to you now. I have given up all I ever stood for. All I ask is for a tiny miracle. For Caribert to see this world once more. Please, God! I have made quite enough of a fool of myself for one day. Caribert? Well, we've prepared. Caribert, it's me. It's your father. Caribert, Caribert, please say something. I'm sorry I couldn't be at your side when you were born. And that I failed to reach you and Mama, but I'm here now. Papa's been... Are you still angry with me, I know you're awake now, I'm so sorry, Caribert. Forgive me. Please. Please. Oh, gods above! What more do you want from me? You took everything from here, and I still bowed to you. I'd give you my very life if only you cared to take it! But you won't even let me die! I knew it. I should never have trusted anything that had to do with the gods. The gods of this world have never stood with humanity, not even for a moment. Other reasons. Huh. You really think so? Give up? No, never. And yet, even if I must stay here with him for 50 years, 100, what difference does it make? I do not lack for... Let's go. We'll make another... The most crucial ingredient in this medicine is the I grow them in that field. The details don't matter, right? Curb, there is a waterfall near the statue I prayed at. I need you. I'll be here, watching Kari Bear. Once you're back, I will make good. Ah, you're back. Kari Bear's condition is stable. By which I mean he... Anyway. I need you to stand guard here for a while. Whatever you do, good.
Settle down. Bow your head.
Whirling snow.
Settle down.
Take flight.
What happened? Was it monsters? Oh, thank goodness you were here. Oh, yes, I've got the fertilizer. The effects can take some... Next, we pick the mushrooms and repeat the same steps as before to make another dose. Oh, sorry. I have been so very wary for many years. If only I could fall asleep here. I do indeed. That's why it was just a fleeting thought. We're here. Wait a moment. Hey, what was that? Cory Bear? Oh no, he must have left while... Come on! That's not Cory. Right. And Cory Bear's scarf. My eyes must be going. How could I not? Yes. It doesn't seem yes. Did it go in here? Well... What a ghastly place. Has it always... It looks like they're... worshipping. Sometimes walking, sometimes kneeling, and I've never seen anything... Oh...
Is this a teleportation device? What energy is power? Bow your head. How did I get on the ceiling? Did the room turn upside down, or gravity itself? It seems like I need to find a place to insert the rune.
Humans, fate has not granted you the right to end. Do you insist on an audience? Very well. Then I grant you the trial.
Take flight! Ha! Yeah! Ha! Out of the frying pan, into...
Silence!
I see dominion!
Justice is blindsided.
On, reveal thy...
The tides beckon.
Foolish mortal!
Nice and spicy!
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Desolation! Conquers all! Let's not
Get them!
Settle down.
mortals!
Who was that? He was a perfect. He had the most wondrous, and yet you were able to defeat him. Let's continue on. I have.
think.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow? Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For I am no god. You are like a flower, born in sin, yet pure, spotless. You need no longer hold back your resentment, nor accept the countless lie. Go forth, become a transcendent one. Rise beyond the fate bestowed, and I shall shed a tear at the end of.
What just happened? When I saw that thing, my heart was instantly at. I feel good. Oh, is that so? Cory Bear! Oh, thank goodness! He's still okay. I have for this to happen, right? You say that I bowed before that thing, so perhaps I have to try. No matter what,
Papa?
Cory Bear! Oh, my goodness, it worked! You see? It worked! Cory Bear can speak again!
Where's Mama?
Mama is... Cory Bear, look at me. Do you know who I am?
Of course. Your Papa.
Yes! Salvation! Sweet salvation! Yes, yes! This is what this feeling is. How do you feel, Cory Bear? Are you fully awake now?
Yes. It feels like I just woke up from a long, long sleep. I dreamed that I was hiding in a little room. I didn't dare go out the whole time, and I didn't want to either. Wait. My body! What happened to me? Papa? What's happened to me?
Don't panic, son. It's just... While you were sleeping, we went into a fairy tale world. There's no more Conria here. No more home. But, do you know what that means? No more red sky. No more end of the world. In this world, you have to be a little monster, but you get to stay with Papa forever.
Am I dead?
No, of course not. Look, Cory Bear, you still have Mama's scarf on your arm. That means she's watching over you, protecting you. So how could you be dead?
Really?
Yes, really. You've only just woken up, and this must all be very confusing for you. Just... and, you have to promise me something. Never take off your mask. Understand? Whatever happens, you mustn't take it off.
Okay, Papa. I won't. I promise.
Not since that day have I been so... I knew that placing my hope in the Seven was a waste of time. Once a murderer, always a murderer. But the god we saw in that cave, oh, that wondrous power, it was... Now then, after piety is hardly a sinner... Oh, don't be absurd. You and I have both witnessed his divine power. No matter. Believe what you will. You cannot shake my faith. I am going to pay my respects with or without you.
Silence!
Whirling snow! Take flight!
Nice and spicy.
My apologies!
Out of the frying pan, into the fire.
Settle down!
Impossible! What happened? The Hilichurl worshippers have Was it all an illusion? That's true. Yes, it can't. It was neither illusion nor coincidence, and let's go, traveler. There is surely a reason for its disappearance, and I do believe that someday in the future, could he really have been... Bear? Where has he gone? Oh, no. Maybe someone else came by and found him? No, it can't have been that. There's no sign of a break-in and no sign of anyone having... This does not bode well. What if he's spotted by a forest ranger or a... Wait a minute. This isn't how we left it. Oh, no. The mirror, it's broken!
He must have taken his mask off and seen what he looks like beneath it. If he'd just done as he was told! We have to find him. It's his scarf. He dropped it. Looks like we're going the right way. Come on. Caribert! Caribert! Where are you? Curses! Forest Rangers.
Hey! Who are you? We haven't seen you around here before. What's your business here?
Have you seen a, hilly?
I asked you first.
I said, have you seen a hilly churl?
Hey, whoa! There are hilly churls everywhere. What's the big deal? We see plenty of them out here.
Exactly. Matter of fact, we just took out a few of them back there.
You Forest Ranger scum! You spawn of the Seven are all the same!
You're right?
Curse you all, Forest Rangers!
I don't get it. Why make such a huge fuss over a few hilly...
He'd only just regained his mind. How could you do this to him? So tell me, Forest Rangers, did you really spare none of them?
Jeez, you're really not gonna let this go. Fine, you weirdo. If you must know, I was frightened at first, but it didn't seem to have any interest in me at all. It was just bumbling along in that direction.
Yes! Wonderful!
Wait, you're leaving? Not even a thing?
Caribert! Caribert, stop! It's me! Whatever you saw, it was all a trick. I told you, we're in a fairy tale world now. Nothing here is real. Please, Caribert, come back. It's time to go back. Caribert? How could this happen? Come! Caribert, we have to go home now.
Papa?
Caribert.
Papa, I can't take it.
Please, Caribert. It's my fault. I'm so sorry. If only I'd known.
It's all too much. Papa!
I see. I understand now. Finally, it all makes sense. Ah, Traveler, you're awake. Finally, we can rejoice together. Wait, no. Why am I still calling you Traveler? I suspected it was you. Oh, of course you haven't. In any case, I've been using a fake name. My real name is Clotar.
Clotar Alberich. You saw it too, didn't you? Unmistakable, the power inside Caribert and the power of... Yeah, I am positive now. It's the power of the abyss, isn't it? Oh, at long last, I have seen it with my own eyes. That is no business of yours. A sinner. Yes. Salvation for a sinner can only come from us. Caribert did not deserve his fate, but now... It's wonderful. He will be able to weave his own destiny anew. Born into abject sorrow, he shall now become the loom of fate. Huh? Sinister? Oh, I never imagined that you... We once believed that you would bring to us. You were the abyss, and the one who controls the abyss can control everything. We yearned for that future. We looked to you to take us there. But what did you bring us instead? Oh, Prince of Conria?
What did he just call me?
Traveler! Hey, Traveler! Traveler!
You're awake! Oh, thank goodness you're awake! Paimon was worried sick! Traveler? Traveler?
What happened while you were on... I checked the ley lines nearby. It appears that the Abyss tampered with them, and information and memories flow within the ley lines. What did you witness? You mean Clotar Alberich? After founding the Abyss Order, his faith in the Abyss led him to do a great many things. But the curse of immortality continued to torment his body and mind. And in the end, neither his fate... After 100 years, he lost his mind completely, yet his dark legacy lived on. The defiled statue that we encountered previously was just one perverse product of his use of abyssal power during his life. You could say that. He wouldn't be the Abyss Order's prince otherwise.
Are you alright? You have a troubled look on your face.
So you saw his memories from centuries ago through your own eyes. It all but defies belief. Still, as I'd suspected, the notion of the Loom of Fate did indeed rear its head during that time. And it seems closely connected to Clotar Alberich's son, Caribert, and what happened to him. And yet your brother never breathed a word of this incident to me. I wonder... Indeed. Clearly, this series of events sparked a long period of deep... What is it?
The field?
You mean here? Well, let's start digging and see.
You scared the Duke out of Paimon! Did you rebury them yet?
A male and female skeleton, buried together. Interestingly, the male skeleton appears to have been interred much later. And it's holding a silk scarf in its hand. But what does this mean? And how did you know that there were bodies buried here? What? That's impossible. Unless Clotar Albery finally found a way to rid himself of the curse. This all raises far too many questions. We should part ways here.
Huh? You're just gonna...
It's better that we split up for now. I think that he might have seen you.
Who's he?
Yes. I have my suspicions as to his identity, but I need to confirm some other details before I can be sure. If the time is right, I will tell you when we next meet.
But what do you mean that he saw the Traveler? How is that possible?
I fear that while these things would limit anyone else, they are no obstacle to him.
What? Why? What is...
All right, let's leave it there. Get some rest. Goodbye.
There goes Dane. And just like... What is it?